Okay, so basically last week we started that provincial paper. We're going to continue that only. Let me share all the questions. Yes, said yes. But today all were rejected. Okay, so there is three questions here, and I'll give you 2 minutes each. Right, 6 2, 2 minutes. Can I 2 4 6 6 8? Yeah, I'll give you time to 6:15. Those are playing on can play and come after that. Do these questions now. Brackets from Roman number 8 to Roman number 10. Discussion at 6:15. I know 15 minutes is too much for this question. But 15 and 12 minutes is too much to do these questions. Anyways, enjoy doing it. Once you're done answering these three questions, raise your hands up in the participants list. No, I'm skipping the seventh one because seventh one has a bit of unwanted stuffs. How many if you're done? If you're done, raise your hands up. Let's see. Okay, almost 10 of y'all are done. Others, be quick. Do these three questions we have here. Technically, in 6 minutes, we'll be able to finish them within 6 minutes. I can't believe programming is easy here. Yeah, compulsory question. It's compulsory questions. Programming is normally easy. Others will have only 4 minutes remaining. Be quick. Okay, your time is up. Can I know which paper is this? This is the term Western Province paper last year. Okay, let's check your answers. All of you stop your workings and mark your answers, right? Sahil will be getting it as soon as possible, okay? Select from the list given below and write down the most appropriate term for the each of the blanks in the following statements. You are required to write only the label 1 to 4 in the corresponding term. Fine. The initial text information displayed on the screen is displayed and the booting instructions stored in the RAM are called. The initial text information displayed on the screen is displayed and the booting instructions stored in the RAM are called. The English is so bad. Genius. Why am I judging the English? What do you call that booting up instruction as? Out of the given answers. Wait, forget about the given answers. Forget about the given answers. What do you actually call that boot up instruction as? No, there is a text information displayed on screen, right? And the booting instruction. What is the name of that actually? Correct. It's called the BIOS. Now, BIOS is actually a type of program. Correct. It's a type of program, right? But is this program or is this application? Is it a type of software? Is no, BIOS is a program, correct? But even though it's a type of program, is it a type of software? No, it is not a type of software. Then what type of program is it? Correct. Even though we don't call BIOS as a software, okay, BIOS is actually called as a firmware. Normally, if you're taking these what do you call when you take these hardware, the components of a computer, right? The components of a computer. That means the things connected to the computer or the things that are going to interact with the computer. You can categorize the components of the computer based on three categories. The three categories we have are first category is hardware. Hardware are other tangible components we have in the computer. Tangible means you can touch and feel and see. Like for example, the keyboard, mouse, they are all tangible stuffs that are connected for the computer. So these tangible components, we can call that as a hardware. Okay. If you take on the other hand side, we have the other type of components called as software. Yes, Ashika. Okay. Softwares are the intangible components on the computer, right? Now, if you take software and firmware, both are intangible, correct? If you take software and firmware, both of them are actually intangible. But even though both of them are intangible, there is a main difference between them. Even though both of these are intangible, there is a both are types of programs. Software is a type of program. Now, firmware is a type of program. Program means like application. Okay, both are types of applications. But the main difference between a software and firmware is for this firmware types of programs. For these programs, okay, these are the programs that can run without whom? Hmm? Tell me, firmware are the programs that can run without the interaction of whom? Whom? These are the programs that can run without the interaction of the operating system. Operating system. Okay. Now, it's something like this. If you take your computer, right? Normally in the computer, we call the CPU as a brain of the computer. Just like we call CPU as a brain of the computer, we call operating system, again, it's not a compulsory term, but we call operating system as a heart of the computer. This is also like a key component in your computer, right? Normally, operating system only allows you to interact with your computer. For example, you in your computer, you might have a speaker in it. If you take your computer, there is a speaker in it, there's a microphone in it. Now you can't just directly go and tell, hey, speaker, talk, it will not give a sound. Okay. For you to be able to play a music in that keep through that speaker. Through that speaker, if you want to play a music, you might open your laptop or computer and you might open your song application and you might start playing a song, right? So if you look at that scenario there, for you to interact with that speaker, for you to make a sound come through that speaker, you're interacting with your device, right? That mediation is done using the operating system. Operating system only helps you to mediate that, the communication between the hardware and the user. Both of us can communicate with the help of the operating system, right? And if you take softwares, for these softwares to function, okay, for the softwares to function, it needs the help of the operating system, right? Softwares, it needs help of operating system. It's like on the operating system only the softwares function. So if there is no operating system, you can't run your applications, right? For example, let's say you want to open WhatsApp. After you on the computer, you can go and open WhatsApp application, or let's say you on the phone. After you on the phone, you can see lots of apps are showing. If you click on an app, you can start using it, right? Now, all these apps you are using your phones, laptops, all those stuffs, they are normally running on the operating system. Without the operating system functioning, you will not be able to use those applications, right? But on the other hand side, before you start the computer, like when you're on in the computer, on in the phone, you'll be able to see the icon, right? Dell, Samsung, Apple, you might be able to see the logo coming, and there might be some instructions coming. Okay, like some normally you will not be able to see all the boot up instructions, but before you start seeing your home screen, the things you see is that all those programs are actually this firmware. Those are programs that can run without the operating system. Normally, these programs are running before the operating system is even loaded to the RAM, or before the operating system is even started, before the operating system is even being in use. These firmwares are functioning. So mainly keep in mind, firmware and software both are types of programs. The main difference is firmware is a program that can run without operating system, but software is a program that has to run with the help of operating system. Is that clear, all of you? Got it? So here they are talking about these booting instruction text in display in the beginning. So those boot up instruction text, they are all types of firmware because they are running without the interaction of the operating system. Before your operating system, before you start seeing a home screen, all those stuffs, these programs are running. So they're actually the firmware. Second one. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. Any physical components of a computer system with a definite shape is called what? If it's a definite shape, that means it's probably a tangible component that you can look, touch, see, feel. Exactly. Those physical components we call as what? Perfect. Those physical components we call them as hardware. Correct. Third one. Dash is a software which manages the hardware and software in the computer. Who is the heart of the computer? That is a bugger who is going to manage all the hardware as well as manage all the software. He's like the manager of the whole computer. A while ago, I told you the heart. What are the examples of software? There are categories of softwares, like, for example, utility software, operating system, and language translator. Actually, the main category we have is system software and application software. And the system software, the three examples I told you comes. But keeping all those categories, like basic examples, any applications you're using, let's say your phone, WhatsApp, camera, settings, torchlight, all applications you're using, right? It's all types of softwares. Any program you're going to use after you're on the computer, simple. Exactly. The software that manages the hardware and software, it's called the operating system. This is the main bugger in the computer. Next, a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some activity using a computer is called what? Instructions we give for the computer. Think, simply think. Don't think too much advance. I'll give you a hint. An algorithm contains instructions, no? By referring the algorithm, you create this. What do you create? So algorithms are basic instructions. It is written in simple English. A computer can't understand algorithms. Algorithm can be understood only by the human developers. So by referring these instructions, the basic instruction in human terms, we convert these instructions into a computer understandable instructions, right? So what do you call these computer understandable instructions as? Now, if it's human understandable instructions, it's going to be called as algorithm. You convert algorithm into what? Pseudocode is also for humans, not for the computers. Exactly. It's called a software. Okay. If you take a software is the instruction that a computer can understand. A computer will not be able to understand a simple English, right? I mean, if you take a software, softwares are the if you take a software, the words used in it you can understand. But for example, if you take a normal, let's say, algorithm, you might go and write in the algorithm, enter number. This is just an algorithm. Okay, algorithm is basic instruction. Now, if I go and tell a computer this enter a number, it will be confused. What does this bugger mean? So, depending on the programming language, the way you ask a user how to enter a number will vary, right? So, normally, when you're developing applications, when you're developing a program, what we do is we take these human readable instructions, which is algorithm, and we convert that human readable instructions. Algorithm is human readable instructions. No? We convert this algorithm into a computer understandable instruction. And that instruction that the computer can understand is what we normally call as a software. Okay. So software is for the computer given. Algorithm is mainly for human given. Got it? So answer is going to be number 1 firmware, number 2 hardware, number 3 operating system, and number 4 software. If you wrote these answers correct, put half marks each. Anyone have any questions here? Yes, what is it? If 3 corrected, half marks each, so half marks into 3 is 1.5. What is the utility program? Utility programs are also as a type of system software. It's like, for example, the programs that you like compulsorily need for a program to function, for a computer to function. Imagine your phone, you have settings application, right? But that settings application, you don't install that, or you can't download that or uninstall that, right? That's a program you definitely need to use your computer to control your computer. So that settings is an example for like utility program. Got it? They're like the compulsory programs. What is the special name we give for OS? What do you mean by special name? Its name is operating system. Simple. That what I said earlier is heart of the computer. Again, that's not a compulsory thing you're keeping in mind. It's just what is liveware? Liveware are the users, human user, the people who use a computer. Example: teacher, student, a software developer, any person you feel like who might use a computer, you consider as liveware. Right. Next. Consider the flowchart below that can be used to find the product of even numbers from 1 to 10. We have mentioned here the purpose of the program. Product of even numbers from 1 to 10. Product means what? What do you mean by product? Is it addition, multiplication, subtraction, or division? What do you mean by this word for product? Yes. Keep in mind the word product means multiplication. The word product means multiplication. So when you say product of even numbers from 1 to 10, what you're going to do is you're going to get the multiplication of even numbers from 1 to 10. That's basically 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times, 10. These are the product of even numbers from 1 to 10. First of all, tell me, did you understand what is the purpose of the program? We're going to find the value of this. We're going to get the answer of this basically, the product of even numbers from 1 to 10. The question is saying, identify the statement for each of the labels PQRS in the flowchart from the given blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's do it. Now you can see they have mentioned here a variable called x and a variable called m. Okay. Initially they're saying x equals 1, m equals 1. Fine. Let's check. First of all, you're checking a condition here. If you take the flow chart, in a flow chart, we use a rhombus. We use different shape for different purpose. Okay. A rectangular shape is used to show a process, and a rhombus is used to show a condition. A parallelogram is used to show an input or output statement. Okay. First of all, let's focus on the statement P value. P is talking about a process, no, sorry, a condition, no. Tell me out of the given answers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the given 5 answers here, which one looks like a condition? I'll give you a hint. There are two answers you have to give me. Out of these, there are two statements which looks like a condition. What are those two? Correct. If you look at this scenario, the third one we are checking is a value of x less than or equal to 100. We are checking is a value of x less than or equal to 100. In the fifth one, if you see, we are checking is a value of x mod 2 equal to 0. We are checking is a value of x mod equal to 0. These are the two different conditions we have. Let's now check what is the most suitable answer. First one isn't the topic. I don't know. They're just giving me 5 statements here, and there is no difference. Still, I didn't find the answer. Why avasam for you? Right. Let's check what is more suitable. Third, the fifth gila. If you take here, if you are going to check here, is the value of x less than or equal to 10, and then if you're going to do another instruction, okay, it makes sense. If you're going to check, first of all, is x mod 2 equals 0. Okay. Out of these two, when you see this word called x mod 2 equals 0, based on your experience with making programs, or you have been learning to create several programs, right? When you hear this word called x mod 2 equals 0, you should be remembering one of the programs you did in the past. For which scenario do we use this condition is a value of x mod 2, anything, a number mod 2 equals 0? In which scenario do we do that? To check if a number is what? Based on your experience in creating programs, because now you're in the latter part, almost close to your levels, right? So based on the several programs that I've created, when you see this word on x mod 2 equals 0, divide a number by 2 and you're checking is the remainder 0. What is used to see the remainder? When you do a division, you check the remainder. So you're saying x mod 2, that means divide a number called x, divide it by 2 and get the remainder. What is talking about remainder. So divide a number by 2 and check if the remainder is equal to 0. This is used to check what? If a number is exactly, we are going to check if a number is even. We're going to check if a number is even. Okay. If you look at the whole program here, there are two condition boxes. Okay. Now tell me, what do you think is more suitable for P? First of all, going and checking is a number. The first, now we are talking here number 1, x equals 1 initially. Are we first of all supposed to check that x is less than or equal to 10? Or are we first is supposed to check is the number even? What do you think is more suitable for this scenario? Is it 3 or is it 5? Exactly. Now, practically, if you look at this scenario here, let's say, for example, let's say you're going to check if the number is even in this position. You're going to check here if the number is even. Okay. If the number is not even, are you going to display something and end the program? Practically, will that be your situation? For example, I'm going through different numbers. Now, these are the numbers between 1 to 10, right? I'm going to check, okay, the first number is 1. I'm going to check is this number, my number mod 2 equal to 0. That means if I divide 1 by 2, okay, is this is the value of and this is the value of div. I'm going to check basically is this value equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, am I going to display something in the program? Is that how the program should function? Practically, think and tell me. No. When I'm going through these numbers, first of all, that's not what I should do. First of all, I would go through. I have to make sure that I go through the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. So if you look at the whole program here, the statement P is there. That is used to check is the number less than or equal to 10. This is the purpose of this first instruction we have here, right? We are going to check is the number less than or equal to 10. If it is less than or equal to 10, now we are going to check is that number odd or even. Okay. Now only we are going to use that second condition. So I'm going to say here we are going to use that condition saying is the value of that number. Now here if you look at the program, initially the value of number is 1. X equals 1. Okay. I'm going to check here is the value of x mod 2 equal to 0. That means when you divide this number by 2 is a value equal to 0. Okay. Now tell me if the value is equal to 0, when I divide a number by 2, if the remainder is equal to 0, is it an even number or is it an odd number? Now x here is a number, right? If I divide the number by 2, if the remainder is equal to 0, is it even or is it odd? Exactly. It's an even number. So what I'm going to do is, if it's an even number, you can see as per the question, if it's an even number, I had to multiply it. I had to multiply it. Now, normally, we're not going to do this multiplication. Now, for example, imagine how your brain is going to work. If I ask your brain to get the multiples of the product of even numbers from 1 to 10, how your brain is going to process? First of all, your brain will, okay, we have the number 2. Then you're going to multiply the next even number we have, that is 2 into 4. So you 2 into 4 is 8. Now you will multiply the next number you have. That's 6. So when you're multiplying in your head, can your brain multiply all of these numbers and give it to you at once? Or will you be going pair by pair? Like first of all, 2 times 4. Then the answer times 6. Will you multiply pair by pair? Or can your brain multiply all at once? Practically tell me. Exactly. Practically, if you look at how your brain works, your brain can't multiply all of them at once. So if I give this number and ask you the answer, your brain can't process that at once. Your brain will take that as pair and pair. How will it take? First, it will take 2 times 4. It will be okay, 2 times 4 is 8. And it will simplify the equation to something like this. Now it's going to be like, okay, 8 times 6. So 8 times 6 is 860, 48. Now this is how your brain is going to process. Likewise, if you notice, your brain is going to process pair by pair. After you multiply this pair, the answer you're going to multiply with this. Answer you're going to multiply with this. I'm going to apply that same strategy here. I'm going to say if it's an even number, then store the product in this variable called m as m is equal to m into x. M is like the variable used to store the answer, right? When I have to multiply 2 into 4 into 6 into 8, first of all, I have to multiply 2 and 4, right? Multiply 2 and 4 and store it into a variable called m. So 2 times 4 is now 8. So the answer I'm going to multiply by 6. Now m into 6 is how much? 48. That answer I'm going to store in a variable called m. So initially, let's say m was 1. Then m will become 1 times 2. The answer is 2, no? Now m is going to be 2 times 4. Answer is 8, no? M is going to be 8. Now answer is going to be m times 6. Like this, piece by piece, it's going to increase. So now when you're doing the multiplication, here you're going to multiply piece by piece. Or sorry, pair by pair. First of all, 2 times 4. Then into 6. Then answer into 8. Answer into 10 killer. Piece by piece, it's going to go. To get the answer 6. What do you mean answer 6? Okay. So R is going to be that. R is going to be that multiplication. M is equal to M into X. Okay. Now you can see only if it's an even number, we're asking do this multiplication, right? If it's an odd number, we're directly coming for the statement called X equals X plus 1, which means we are going for the next number. So overall, if you look at this program, how this program is functioning is something like this. Okay, how this program is going to function is like this. I tell you how this program is being approaching, right? What we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to get all the numbers between 1 to 10. We're going to go through all the numbers from 1 to 10. To go through all the numbers, to make sure that we are in this range of 1 to 10 only, we have this condition. So if you notice this condition is going to check, okay, this P condition is going to check is a value of X less than 10, right? X is a variable used to store the number we are in currently, right? Now between 1 and 10, sorry, from 1 to 10, okay? From 1 to 10, how many numbers are there? From the number 1 to number 10, how many numbers are there? I'll tell Asma. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 numbers, right? Correct. Are all 10 of them even numbers? Are all 10 of them even numbers? No. So first of all, we have to go through each and every number, right? We have to go through each and every number from 1 to 10. So what I'm going to do here is I'm first of all creating a variable called X. Okay. Variable means like we are storing a value inside a letter or value inside a name. Okay. So inside this letter called X, I'm going to give the value called 1 because either between 1 to 10 is the first value we have. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this variable called X only to go through each and every digit. Now from 1 to 10, there are 10 digits now. From number 1 to number 10, there are 10 digits. What I want to do in this program is I want to go through number by number. Okay. And when I'm going through number by number, first of all, I want to check. I want to make sure that we start at 1 and we end at 10. We don't go more than 10. We start at 1 and we end at 10. To make sure I'm starting at 1, first of all, I'm going to use a variable called X. And I'm going to tell the value of X is going to be 1. I'm going to say now the value of X is 1. Right? And to make and also I had to go for the after I tell the value of X is 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check basically is this number odd or even? Is this number odd or is this number even? Now tell me I had to multiply as per the given question. I had to find the product if it is odd or if it is even. As per that question given, I had to multiply or I had to find the product if the number is odd or if the number is even. Read this and tell me. I had to find the product of exactly only if it is even number. So if it's even number, I had to multiply. I had to get the product. If it's an even number, I had to get the product, which means I had to multiply. If it's an odd number, should I find the product? No. Okay. So basically, I have a number. First of all, I'm going to check is the number odd or even. If the number is even, then I had to get the product of it. If it is odd, should I do anything? Should I do any calculations if it's odd? No. Now, after you find the product of the first number, let's say now you have found whether the first number is odd or even. If it is even, let's say you multiply. If it's odd, you ignore. Now, once you're done with the first number, you have to go for the next number. You have to go for the next number. Okay. So whether it's odd or whether it's even, the next step is going to be go to next number. Go to next number, right? Now, initially, I'm going to start with the number 1. I'm going to start with number 1 because when you take the numbers from 1 to 10, the first digit we have is 1, right? Now, first of all, when X is going to be equal to 1, I'm going to check is X actually odd or even? Is the number odd or even? Okay. This number which we have, is it odd or even? Now, look at the number and tell me, is number 1 odd or even? When you take number 1, is it odd or even? It's actually an odd number. If it is an odd number, should I do any multiplications? No, I had to go for the next number. Now, if I have to go for the next number, after 1, I want to figure out what is the next number. Tell me an equation I can write. Okay, tell me an equation I can write Now, x is a variable we are used to store the current number we are checking. Okay. I want to make sure I change the value of the current number. X is a variable used to store the current number I am being checking. This is the number we are going to check now. The number we are going to check, I'm going to store that in a variable called x. I want to go for the another number, next number after now. Currently I'm in one. I want to go for the next number. So give me an equation I can write to increase the value of this number. I can tell x is equal to what? How can I modify the value as x? I should tell the new value of x is going to be equal to what? To go for the next number. Exactly. To go for the next number, I can say x equals x plus 1. That means the new value of x is going to be the current value of x, plus 1. Now, when I'm in the first number, it was odd, so I'm going for the next number. So if I take x equals x plus 1, what I mean by that is the new value of x is going to be current value of x plus 1. You can say currently x plus 1, so 1 plus 1 is going to be equal to 2. So now the new value of x is going to be 2. Now the new value of x is going to be 2. Now when I come and check here, now the current value of x is 2. Now I'm this next number. Now when I come and check, is this number odd or even? Is it odd or is it even? Number 2, is it odd or is number 2 even? Correct. Number 2 is even. So I have to come in the bottom path. You can see if a number is even, I have to find the product. Now, as per the, if you take programs, in programs to store these values, only we use variables. Now I'm using the variable called x to store which number am I checking. I'm using a variable called x to store which number I'm checking. I also need a variable to store the answer, that product. This now, if you take product of numbers from even numbers, it's basically 2 into 4 into 6 into 8 into 10. I need again a variable to store this value, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable called m. M. Now, if I say m equals m into 2, now the even number is 2. If I say m equals m into 2, okay, when we write equations like this, the meaning of this equation is the left hand side always will have the new value. The meaning of this is the new value is equal to current value into 2. Always left hand side, before the equal symbol we have what the new value is. After the equal symbol we have what the current value is. Now, before I do this equation, before I multiply 2, as per what I told you, as per the data I have given you now, have I given a value for m? As per the data you can see here, have I initialized the value for m? Have I told you what is the first value of m? No. Practically tell me, can I use m equals 0? If I use m equals 0, will this program give me the correct answer? No. Imagine if I use 0, it's going to be 0 into 2. 2 times 0 is anyway 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So is it suitable to use 0 there, or else to initialize m, is it suitable to give 1 there? What do you think is more suitable, 0 or 1? The first value of m, is it suitable to give as 0 or 1? Which is a value that will not affect the final answer? Exactly. If I initially tell the value of m, consider that as 1. The value of m considers 1. Now, if I keep this like this, m equals 1, if I keep it like that, now when I say m equals m into 2, I'll say the product is equal to m equals m into 2. Now, without using 2 there, I'm going to use say x. Because x is a number, right? Only if the number is even, x is a variable used to store the number. Only if the number is even, we're going to come towards this direction. No, we're going to come towards this direction. So I'm going to write here equation saying m equals m into x. What I mean by that is the new value of m is going to be equal to current value of m into 2, right? Now, when the value of mx was 2, it was even, so you came to a down pathway. So based on that, tell me what will be the new value of m? First time, when you're going through the first time to the program, the new value of m is going to be what? Yes. When you're going to the program for the first time, the value of m is 1. No? So m equals m into x, that's going to be 1 times 2. And 1 times 2 is going to be 2. Now you can see the new value of m is 2. Now you can see the new value of m is 2. Earlier, now if I'm going to draw it as a table, if I'm going to draw it as a table, if I'm going to take m as a table, like as a column, if I take, initially the value of m was 1 when the program started. And once we came for this instruction, the value of m now became 2. Now the new value of m is actually 2. Now, if I go through this whole diagram, you can see the next instruction I have is I have to go for the next number. Okay. Let me have a variable to store the what you call current number we are going through as well. So let's say x value is that all this time we went through 1. When the program started, we went through 1. Okay. And 1 was odd number. Then you can remember we changed the x to now 2. Now, after we are coming, what do you call, we checked and we, what do you call, found out the product, all those stuff. Again, we're going to come for this part and go to next number. When I say go to next number and execute this statement, x equals x plus 1, right? X equals x plus 1. That means the new value of x is going to be equal to current value of x plus 1. Now tell me what's going to be the new value of x. Now, all these time, the value of x was 2, right? So, the new value of x is going to be exactly, it's going to be x plus 1, 2 plus 1. So, this value of 2, the value of x is going to change from 2 plus 1, and the new value of x is going to be 3. The new value of x is going to be 3. Now again, I do the whole setup. I do the whole algorithm. I do the whole idea. I check the whole concept using the value of 3. Now when I check x equals 3, is 3 an odd number or even number? It's an odd number. So if it's odd number, I have to go for the next number. After 3, what is the next number we have? I mean, if I put x equals x plus 1, what's going to be the next number? Exactly. It's going to become 3, is going to become 4. Now when I consider x equals 4, is it odd or even? It's going to be even. So if I come to down path and find the product, m equals m into x. Currently, look at my table and tell me what is the value of m. Look at the latest value of m and tell me what is the value of m currently at the moment. Correct. Currently, m is equal to 2. Currently, what is the value of x? Correct. You can say x equals 4. So based on that, tell me what do you think the new value of m is going to be? Exactly. 2 times 4 is going to be 8. So the m is going to be now 8. That is how this program is going to function. So first of all, now when you see that after we increase the number, we are going to again go and check if the number is odd or even. No, you have a limit for this. Now, for example, let's say at the moment 10, let's say x is now equal to 10 value. After you increase by 1, it's going to be 11. When the number is 11, when the value of x is 11, when the value of x is 11, also should you go and check this condition? Is the number odd or even? When the value of x becomes 11, also should you go and check is the number odd or even? No, right? So this checking the part, checking if the number is odd or even, and finding the product. This should be done only until the value of x is equal to 10 or less than 10. That is why if you look at this program, the first instruction we have here is the value of x less than or equal to 10. This instruction we are using to make sure that we are within the range of numbers, that we don't go more than 10. Okay, when you go more than 10, to stop checking that logic. Okay, when the number is less than 10, we are coming down to q, and q is checking is x mod 2 equal to 0. This is going to divide the number by 2 and check if the remainder equal to 0. So the purpose of this instruction is basically to check if the number is even. And you can see when the number is even, we have mentioned here m equals m into x. That I tell you the product we're going to find. Okay, m is equal to m into x. And no matter whether the number is even or no matter whether the number is odd, you can see whether we go for q or whether we go to r. Both of them are coming to this x equals x plus 1. The purpose of this x equals x plus 1 is to go to the next number. Because x is a variable we use to go through each number between 1 to 10. And you can see once we go for the next number, again we are going to check is that number within the range of 1 to 10. If it's less than 10, again I'm going to come and check is the number even. If the number is even, I'm going to find the multiplication here. I'm going to find the product here. And after I find the product, I'm going to go for the next number. If it's not even, I directly go for the next number. Now look at the whole program and tell, did it make sense? I will not still tell you what S is, but did you understand how I got P, Q, and R? even after m equals 10, we have to check. Yes, right? When I say the numbers from 1 to 10, when I say the numbers from 1 to 10, these are numbers from 1 to 10, right? So I have to check number 10 as well. When I say from 1 to 10, I have to check 10 as well. After 10 only I have to stop. That's why we have mentioned x equals s is less than or equal to 10. Got it? Perfect. Okay. So now this is going to repeat again and again and again. Okay. So when the value of x is 10, so let's say now when the last value, I'm going to check is 10 less than or equal to 10. Okay, I'm going to check is the value of x less than or equal to 10. And when I check is 10 less than or equal to 10, that's also going to give me yes. So I'm going to again check, go down, check if the number is odd or even, do the multiplication, all this stuff. And now the value of x will go to 11. No. When the value of x is 11, tell me this condition we have here, x is x less than or equal to 10. Will this condition give you yes or no? When the value of x becomes 11, and you go and check is x less than or equal to 10, will it tell yes or will it tell no? It will tell when I go and check is 11 less than or equal to 10. Is 11 less than 10 or is it equal to 10? Yes or no? When I go and check this condition, is 11 less than or equal to 10? It's going to be a no. So when it gives a no, right, which means when we have completed going through all these numbers, right, when we have completed going through all these numbers, checking if all these numbers are odd or even, and if it's even, find the product. Once we're done with all those steps, now what should we do? We have to, before we end the program, we're going to do what? The purpose of the program should be exactly. Now we are to display the value of the product. So you can see m was a variable we used to show the product. No, so that's why in S what I'm going to do is I'm going to print m because m is a variable we use to store this product. The answer of the 2 into 4 into 6 into 8 into 10. So before the program ends, now I'm going to display the value of that product, the final answer we got. Tell me now, are all of you are clear how I found P, Q, R, and S? All good, all clear, perfect. I tried to keep the what you call explanation as simple as possible, but if you have any doubts, ask. Your program is one of the easiest thing you have in ICT. Okay, so as per your answers has to be something like this. For P, you have to mention is x less than or equal to 10. This is basically P. And Q is this, R is this, S is this. So put half marks each. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. I'm going for the next one. There are both advantage and disadvantage to use in the waterfall model as a SDLC. Why is it black? Come, come, come. Okay. Can you show the note, please? This is not note. This is just my scribbling of how to find the answer. Simple. Anyways, done. Okay, sure. Okay, perfect. So if you look at this scenario, they're asking you write the advantage and disadvantage that you have identified. There are both advantage and disadvantage using the waterfall model, and they're asking for advantage disadvantage. Fine. Normally, when you're developing applications, right, there are certain steps. Now, for example, let's say you're going to go and wash a vehicle. When you're going to wash a vehicle, there are some steps you will follow. Will you when you take when let's say you have a car wash, when a vehicle comes itself, will you start putting soap on the car? Practically tell me. Let's say you have a car wash. A vehicle is coming to your shop to. Why is my video lagging? Yeah. So when a very called vehicle comes to the car wash, will you directly go and put the soap on the car and be like, ah, okay, done. Is that the first step you do? No. Normally, to wash the car, there is like a process. If you have gone for car wash or if you're seen at house, first of all, they might water the vehicle. They might have put water around the vehicle. After they apply water, now they'll apply the soap. After they apply the soap, will they just leave the car and will they like, "Ah, okay, we're done, go home, kill, will they leave you? Is that the last process? No. There's another process. They again water the car, they remove the soap. Once they're done again watering and removing the soap, if it's a proper car wash, they'll do one more step. What is that last step? Are Shima, which car wash will wax and all, man? That's over in a way. Practically think. Exactly. They'll wipe it. They'll dry the car. Right? They'll dry the car and wipe and basically make it dry. Okay. So let's say if you're washing the vehicle, these are the basic stuffs. Normally, if you're washing a vehicle at home also, you might notice your parents are washing. These are some basic stuffs they might do. They might first of all apply. I haven't been to a car wash. Okay, forget about car wash. You know what's a plate, right? You have washed your plate, right? How do you wash your plate? Will you first is go and start putting the soap? Nah, product vatura dala. You wash the dirt in the plate. Or a bajanayak hodana. First you put water and remove the dirt. Then you apply soap. Then you apply water and remove that soap. Okay. Then once the soap and water all are gone, now you'll dry the plate. You will not keep the wet plate or where the water is leaking. A plate you might not go and hang in the rack. No, you might dry it. You will not take a cloth and dry, but up to a certain level, you might dry the plate, and then only you might place it on the plate rack. Right? I do that at once. Start with the soap. I have to teach her how to wash the plates. Then, anyways, what do you call the even plate also you use the almost same process to do it. Okay, so there is like a step by step process you have to follow now, because some majority of you don't know how car wash works. Okay, let's take a plate scenario. Don't tell me that you have not washed a plate in your life, huh? If you have not washed a plate in your life, today itself go to the kitchen and wash it. Your mother will be proud of it. Anyways, okay, let's say you're going to wash the plates. Now imagine what do you called your mother or father or whoever, they like, let's say mother was sick and now you're the person in charge of the kitchen and you're supposed to wash the plate. You went to the sink and there's around 10 plates. You're supposed to wash 10 plates. Okay. Let's say 10 is too much for you. 5 plates. You're lazy, no? You have to wash 5 plates. Hamad is saying that he has a maid at home, it seems. Hamad, let's say your maid is, or let's say, Hamad, you have a crush on your maid. You want to impress your maid. So what happens is you want to wash and show the maid that you're a good boy. Okay. So Hamad is going to wash the 5 plates and show the maid that he can wash plates. That's Hamad's joke. See, Hamad's goal. Okay. So what you're going to do is, okay, let's forget about drying the plate below. Let's think that we have 3 processes. Simple, no? Now, there are 2 types of human beings there in this world. The person A will wash plate by plate. Okay, person A, he is going to wash plate by plate. I'm going to call these as steps. Okay, these are called my steps. Then person B, he is going to wash in not plate by plate. Okay, completely wash plate by plate. Person B is wash. He's going to wash how means bulk step by step. Step by step. What I mean by that is when you have 10 plates, some people are there, they'll first of all take the first plate. They'll apply water for the plate and remove all the dirt. Then they will apply soap for the plate. Then they'll apply water for the plate. And like good boy, they'll go and place this plate in the rack. This is person one. And then only they'll go for the next plate. Then comes person two. They'll take all 10 plates, apply water for all 10 plates, and make sure all the dirts are removed. Now they'll apply soap for all 10 plates parallelly. Now they'll apply water for all 10 plates parallelly, one after the other, and done. Okay. What type of person you're? Are you person A or person B? If you're a person actually going for the kitchen and really helping your mother, you'll definitely be a person B. because a person who washes plate knows that person B, the what you call process B is only the best. Okay, but if you are a person or a the butter than hodana kekkenek na, you don't know the tactics. No, you don't know what is the best. You will follow what you call part A. Anyways, part B is very easy. Okay, so people like me actually A is actually nice. Okay, that's why I said the people who are inexperienced. Let's say, for example, you go and put a new fellow for the kitchen. Will you? That bugger will cook, very neatly. He'll cook. But you see that how your mother cook and that person cook. It's going to be that bugger to cook a food that will take 2 hours. That bugger might take six hours to cook the food. Okay, cook neat. Take a curry by when a mother is cooking food, we usually cook curry by curry. Like once the first curry is completely finished, now only she start cooking the second curry. Is that how it's going to work? Maybe first time if you're cooking, that's how you will do. But if you're really into what you call kitchen, you will know that you can't cook like that. Practically not enough time. And when the rice is in the what you call cooker, you might cut brinjal and wait there to cook, make the moju. That's why chicken might be being washed and kept. Likewise, this happens in a parallel manner. That time you can't what you call sir speaking from cooking experience. Obviously, man. Not bojo, man, moju. See, whatever. So if you are really into kitchen, you know that you have to do this parallel. That time you can't manage your time, right? You don't know what is moju? Brinjal fried and see. Go and see cooker recipe when you're asking me. Anyways, whom did you impress? I impressed my wife. Oh no. I had that Dubai princess and this Elon Musk's friend, which I told you all that day. Anyways, I'll come to that. Okay, I'll come to that point in a while. Right? So what happens is, you have two types of human beings. Blabber started. And there are people who are believing that, man. Let them believe. Why are you eating the entertainment? See, it is. Let's keep that thing aside. So what you're going to do is, you can do either one of the things, right? Now, if you look at the main difference between both of them, right? Here you're in the first scenario, you're approaching plate, what you call plate by plate, and second scenario approaching what do you call second scenario apply approaching step by step approach, right? Just like how you approach these two like this, even when you um, develop application, there are some phases like steps that are we call them phases. Firstly, identify requirements. Once we done identify requirements, we design the application. Then we start coding the application. Now you told me that let them believe, they might have understood that it's a big lie. Who said it's a lie and it's actually the truth? Which 2023? Is it weird if I said I feel hungry? Anyways, after coding, we have the testing and debugging. Then we have the deployment. And then we have the maintenance. So these are the step-by-step process. In normally, I asked my mom to make mojo tonight. See. Okay. So it's moju. It's very easy, man. You just take brinjal, fry it, and put some sugar and some what do you call that? Ratupata syrup. I can't remember. Yes, you put sugar. Okay, anyways, why am I teaching cookery? This is not a cookery class. This is IT class. Look at this. Okay, so these are the 6 phases of SDLC, right? So when you are going to build application, just like how you had there were 5 plates, here you will have 5 different requirement by the user. For example, let's take WhatsApp. WhatsApp has 3 main features. If I take WhatsApp, I have the call section, I have the message section, and I have the status section. Now, while I'm building the application, if I'm going to first of all, what do you call identify the requirements for calling, then identify the requirements for messaging, then identify the requirements for status. Completely, I'm done with status section, the requirement section. Now, I'm going to design the state call section. I'm going to design the what you call messaging section. I'm going to design the status section, right? So once the whole message, what you call the design section is done, now I'm going for coding. I'm going to code the what do you call call section, message section, status. Now, if you look at this scenario, which I'm explaining here, am I going in a phase by phase scenario, Am I completing one phase completely and then going for the next phase? Am I going phase by phase, or am I going for like a section by section approach? Section means like, let's say these are, or let's say requirement by requirement approach. Requirement means message is one requirement for WhatsApp, call is one requirement, status is one requirement. Am I going like in a requirement by requirement approach here, or am I going a phase by phase approach here? Which one was I explaining all this time? Once we're done with coding, I'm going to test the call part, I'm going to test the messaging part, I'm going to test the status part. Exactly. If you notice here, I'm completing one full section, one full phase. Before I went for designing, I made sure I found the requirements of the full application. Once I'm done finding the full application's requirement, now I did designing. Now, did I start coding, okay, before the whole application design is over? When we had partial design, when the design is done half itself, did I start coding? No. I completed designing all three sections. Once I'm all three requirements, let me call it section by section. That will make more sense here. Okay. Section by section. Now, if you notice this scenario, I started coding after I designed all these three sections. I started testing once I'm done coding these three sections. After I tested all three sections, once all three was completely tested, then only I go and deploy. Deploy means publish. After I tested all three sections, I'm going to publish. So here, if you notice, I completed one phase completely before I go for the next phase. This is one approach. Another approach we have is something like this. Let me put numbers. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9. It's going horizontally. Another approach I have is, if I was supposed to build WhatsApp, again, same three sections: call, message, and status. Now here what I'm going to do is, without identifying what are the things that will come under calling section, messaging section, all, I'm going to first of all see what are the things that comes under call section. Once I know all the requirements in the call section, I'm going to start designing the call section. Once I'm done designing the call section, I'm going to code the call section. Once I'm done coding the call section, I'm going to start testing the call section and see what I coded, is it working perfectly. Once I'm done testing it, I'm going to publish the application. Now the application is published with only calling. You can use WhatsApp now only to call. And once it's published, okay, now I'll go for the messaging section. I will go and identify the requirements for messaging. Now, when I'm starting this messaging section, you will notice already the WhatsApp is published with only calling feature. And once I'm done with identifying the requirements for messaging, I'm going to start designing the messaging section. Once I'm done designing the messaging section, I'm going to start coding the messaging section. Once I'm done coding the messaging section, I start testing it. And now I again publish it. Now, if you compare my right side and left side one, in the right side one, I completed one phase completely. The whole application's requirements are done. Whole application design is done. Once the whole application's design is done, only I started coding. But if you notice the second one, I have not completed the whole application. Only design relevant to one part. Just one portion of the application design is done. Then only you go for the next phase. So here, if you notice, in the right side part, I go requirement by requirement or a section by section. But left side, I go phase by phase. When you're going to go for a phase by phase approach, this approach we call as a waterfall model. We go phase by phase. And if you're going to go requirement by requirement, like section by section, that's what we call as a iterative incremental model. Tell me, all of you all, are you clear about the difference between waterfall model and iterative incremental model? In waterfall model, you're going to wash what you called plates parallelly. And in iterative incremental model, you're going to go plate by plate. That kind of approach. Got the idea? What's the repeated cycle part? Are we repeating the same step again? Yeah, right. Now, for example, once I'm done the calling section, once I publish the calling section, I'm again coming for the requirement identification, right? But I'm not identifying the requirements of calling. Now, again, I'm coming for the requirement stage for messaging. Once I'm done, identifying the requirements for messaging, I'm going to design the messaging. So you look at the scenario. I went for the designing phase when I was doing calling, and again I'm coming to the designing phase now in step number 7. So once we're done with one whole thing, We are again repeating these six phases. The six phases are repeated again, again, and again after the other in circles. Can we skip steps in iterative? Meaning depends on the depends on the application. Normally, no. Second one is iterative incremental. First one is waterfall model. Tell me, did you get the idea of waterfall model and iterative incremental model? Yes or no? Okay, waterfall model, you're going to go phase by phase. But iterative incremental model, you're going to go section by section. It's like requirement by requirement. Okay, so here they're asking you the advantage and disadvantage of waterfall model. Now, the advantage we have in waterfall model is the application being released as a whole at once. Now, if you take waterfall model, the first time you use WhatsApp, WhatsApp has call feature, WhatsApp has message feature, but WhatsApp has status feature. In the first version itself, you have the full application ready. But iterative incremental model, when we published the application for the first time, did we have the messaging feature and status section when we published here? Like in waterfall, we have to go through all the steps of the results, right? In iterative, all the same. Yeah, it's the way you approach. Now, for example, washing plates, in both the scenarios, you have to put water for the plates, you have to soap the plate, you have to put water. But it's the approach, right? Here you went plate by plate. You took one plate, applied water, applied soap, applied water. Then you went for the next plate, applied water, applied soap. So it's like iterative increment model. You're going to go plate by plate. But if it's the bulk you're going to do, it's the waterfall model. You're going to apply water for all the plates, apply soap for all the plates, apply water for all the plates. You're going to go phase by phase. Perfect. Okay, that's the advantage. The advantage is at once you can have the full application. But iterative incremental model, the first version you're going to see doesn't have all the features. The first version you can see it has only call. The second version, if I release, the second version had call as well as message. Now both the features are there. Again, once I'm done with the status section, now the third version, version 3, will have what do you call version 3 will have call, message as well as status. All three sections are going to be there. Okay. So if you take the iterative increment model, you will not have the whole application at once. You will have piece by piece. First of all, the first version with only one feature, next version with two features maybe, and the next version with all three features. So the advantage of waterfall model is, let's say you have the application being released as a whole at one time or at once. As an advantage for waterfall model, process and results are well documented. In iterative increment model also, it's well documented. So no, that's not correct. In terms of disadvantage, what is the disadvantage we have? It's a very clear thing you can see. Can't update? Nah, you can update. Exactly. Can't see at least the part of the system. Can't see at least the part of the system or a part of the system. At least a part of the system quickly. Right? Now, for example, if you take this plate by plate approach, let's say your mother is looking at you. Your mother will be like, Shah, this person washed the plate. Shah, this person washed the plate. Shah, this person washed the plate. Killer. She can see the clean plate. But in this approach, imagine there's 5 plates. It will take time to see. Comparatively, it will take time to see this part of the plate, the clean plate. Okay? It will take time to see the clean plate comparatively. Because here you're going to go plate by plate, and here you're going to go bulk. Right? So to see at least a part, at least you have done something. To see that you have done at least something, it takes time in the waterfall model. That's the main advantage and disadvantage we have. Unable to refer the earlier phase after going to the next phase. Practically, those are not stupid. Even though your textbook has given those answers, practically they are stupid actually. You can go for the previous phase. So I will not give marks for those. Like imagine, right? Now, for example, let's say you have now applied water for the all the dishes. After you apply water, again can't you apply soap? You can. Practically you can, right? Which model is used by companies like Meta and all? These. They use something called Scrum method. Not Scrum, Agile. Agile Scrum is called one. They use a method called Agile. Agile is more closer to iterative increment model because that's more efficient. Anyways, that's what they know syllabus. Tell me, are you clear about the advantage and disadvantage of waterfall and iterative incremental model? Yes or no? I think this is the third or fourth time I'm talking about these SDLC models for this your batch. If you still can't remember these stuffs, I pity yourself. I first use the example of car wash, then washing plate. Before that, I used some other example which I can't even remember what I used. Cake, exactly. No, I mean, explain the whole models again, the whole how it works. The third, I think, cake, car wash, and now these are plates. Fine. Yes, Shweb, yes. Sixth time then. I can't remember. Okay, so if you got your answer correct for the advantage, if you got it correct, put 1 mark. For the disadvantage, if you got it correct, put 1 mark. Now tell me, out of 6 marks, how many marks do you get? Western province papers are easy. Yes, compared to Southern province, Western province very easy. Actually, I saw your school paper. It was so stupid. She has included questions from unwanted lessons, man. But did you get what was your marks? Or did she give the marks? I was like, I could again give my paper and kill your. See, my paper was harder, but still you got better marks, right? Should come 90s exactly. And that was a stupid paper, anyways. The corrections upset them. Please make a paper for our school. You already regret it when already I made it for their school and they regretted it. But again, there was a new teacher who came and she made the paper stupider than mine. Mine was proper. It was hard. This paper is stupid. From the lesson which is worth 1 or 2 marks, they put a 10 marks question. கேட்டு வாங்குறாங்க, exactly. Anyone can have that. Useless paper. Yeah, man, that day I saw the paper. Yes, sir, yes. That's why I didn't even show you. Okay, Ahmad, what's up? Right. Answer the fifth question, Roman number one. All of you. Roman number one. First, only Roman number one. Only the Roman number one. I'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes is too much. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to do. It's for a time of 5 minutes. Does the iterative incremental model consume more time? Both of them consume equal amount of total time. The total time taken is equal. I was very disappointed. Could have done another paper of yours. So you all know the value of my paper after you get a stupid paper like the hers only. I hadn't even heard her name. And I heard that she has not even done O-levels or A-levels ICT. She has just directly done some diploma in IT and coming and teaching you all Kira. She has put wrong for input because I haven't written enter. See. Sarcastic. Okay, all of you do the first question. Once you're done doing the first question, row number one, raise your hands up. By the way, I want to let you all know something about spreadsheets. Once this time is over, I'll tell you all that. Huh? There's one thing I forgot to tell you all about spreadsheet. It's my mistake. Can you please tell when will we get the semester paper marks? I already gave the semester paper marks. Semester papers are like your oral papers. Once it comes to me, getting it back is very hard. In the recap plus one, I'll tell you today itself. Ten, 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 ten. So now I'll let you know soon. I saw someone like you without specs. Might be my brother. My brother and sisters are replicas of me. If you put a shawl around my face, you get my sister's face. If you remove my spectacles, it will be my brother's face. Simple. What's up? Okay, remove the beard as well. Practical, man. What's up, the details. Carbon copies, yes. The fun fact is on the awards day, basically, my brother and sister came. And some parent has gone and talked to their brother, thinking that is me. That was good spectacles and came. Then it was a fun fact. That person didn't have a beard. Then white pillar. Yeah, what five? Right, time up. Let's check your answers. Okay, the first thing regarding spreadsheet which I want to tell you all is I forgot to tell you all. Normally, in a spreadsheet, we have this function called the count function, right? What is the purpose of count functions? It will count the number of cells containing what? Like spreadsheet applications, there is this function called count function. It is used to count the number of cells containing what? Exactly. It's a count the number of cells containing values. Okay. Now, when I said the word called values, I said values means what only? Not labels, values, values. Values contains what? Correct. I told you values contain numbers only. Normally, if you take a spreadsheet applications, okay, there are three types of things you can contain. A cell can contain a label, or else a cell can contain a value, or else a cell can contain a formula. If you use a formula, if you enter a formula, obviously this formula is going to give you a value as the answer, or else the formula is going to give you the label as the answer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just focus on these two people, labels and values, right? Now, if you take labels, label can contain any character. If a cell is going to contain any random character, you can consider as a label. If you take values, values contain numbers only, right? Normally, whether it's a label or if it's a label or value, one thing you can identify is there's a different alignment. Like for example, if I go and type here a person's name, it's a label. So the word label starts the letter L. No? So keep in mind, labels are left aligned. So if I go and click on enter, you can see it's left aligned. If I go and enter a number, for example, if I enter a number like this, you can see values are right aligned. Values are right aligned. Now, one thing I forgot to tell you all is you can convert a value into a label as well. You can convert a value into a label. That is, if I go for this thing called data, sorry, format, there's option where I can convert the data type. Like data type, we have number, percentage, value, currency, all those stuffs, right? If I change the number, so not data type, number format. If I change the number format to plain text, can you see it came from the left hand side? It came from the left hand side. Now, what is going to be surprising here is if I use a count function for these two cells, see it's giving me 0. Even though the cell contains numbers only, even though that cell contains numbers only, it's giving me 0. But again, if I go and change the format to, let's say, number, or it's going to be automatic like how it is earlier, it's giving me 1. Okay, at the moment, it's considering this as a value. Because it is considering as a value only, it is right aligned. And it is considered this as a label. That's why by default, it's a left aligned. But if I go and change the number format from what do you call it, from number, if I go and change it to, let's say, text, you can see it's giving me 0. I'll tell you where did I notice this. I was discussing a grade 10 question. Okay, let me show you the paper as well. I'll ask you what's the answer for that question. Then you will be make it more sense. Where did I get that paper from? She have the printers. Printer. Not this PDF, not this PDF. This PDF. Clear all drawings. Where I got that question is actually here. What do you think the answer for this question number 29 is? Now, based on what I told you, keep in mind whatever I told you, and based on that, tell me what do you think the answer in question number 29 is? Keep one thing in your mind. You can modify between a label and number using the number format too. Correct. When you go and check this in spreadsheet, it will consider this fellow and this fellow as labels. It will consider these two people as labels. And it will consider these three people as values. Normally, in spreadsheet, you have this number format. Okay, no, I showed you Google Sheets. Even in Excel, you have this number format tool. No, in number format tool, they have changed this bugger to the format of currency. They have changed this bugger to the format of date time, and they have changed this bugger to the format of number. Okay, so because using number format tool, they have modified these values. Actually, these three will be considered as values. That's why it's right aligned. And this bug is left aligned, and it's going to be considered as a label because we have modified it using the number format. This is a default alignment, huh? Based on default alignment. So actually the answer here is going to be 3. Is that clear of you? It's something that you'll have to keep in your mind because even I had the misconception until I did that question. Where did you discuss this? I didn't discuss this. Normally I go through past papers for fun. So when I was going through past papers for fun, I found this paper and I was analyzing this question and I noticed this. Damn, people who didn't see this missed it out. That's why purposely, without telling the theory class, I told the paper class. They should know the value of the paper. It's very free. Come and just learn and go. Simple. I will not tell this in theory class. That's a fun fact. Purposely, I'm not going to tell this in theory class. If a question, and purposely, what I'm going to, I will hint if you're going. There'll be exam for in January. Okay, for my theory class students. I'll include this question there. I'm going to make them get wrong. And when they come and tell me you didn't teach this, I'll be like, I told the paper class. I'm a bit villainistic character. This is how I have fun. Anyways, fine. Got the idea, right? So always keep it in mind. Left align labels L. And if it's right align, it's a value. Default alignment. Huh? Anyways, I'll just tell the answer for this question, then let's wind up. Huh? RH students, if you know, you know. Exactly. You're a bad person acting like a good person. Exactly. I'll accept that. I'm a complete bad person. I'll act like a good person sometimes. Thank God you go through papers. As a teacher, you have to go through papers because none of us are perfect. We learn every day. Fine, let's go to the question. Find the most suitable word for the following blanks from the given words in brackets. Write only the question M blah 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 blah. Dash is used to identify various resources uniquely in websites. Actually, I told about this yesterday. How can you uniquely identify a website using? Not a web page, website. There's a difference between a website and web page. Website and web page. Correct. You uniquely identify a web page using a URL. URL is used to uniquely identify a web page. Okay, web page. But to uniquely identify a website, you use the domain name. Now, for example, if you want to identify the master ID or the website, you use the domain name masterid.lk. Now, if you go to masterid.lk website, their website, okay, in this website, you have classes page, resources page, my schedule page. To identify every web page, you have the URL. Use the URL, you can identify. This is one, this URL, this page has one URL, this web page has a different URL. And if it is the whole website, the common web, the identifier is going to be this domain name. Domain name is used to identify a website. Website is like a book, and each page in the book is going to be called as web page. So keep in your mind, to identify every page, you use the URL. To identify the website, you use the domain name. Is that clear? I told about this yesterday as well in the class. So answer is domain name. URL is convert. The same question we discussed yesterday, right? URL is converted into IP address by whom? Same thing we discussed as MCQs yesterday, basically. But yeah, URL is converted into IP address by whom? Exactly. It's converted using the DNS server. So that's going to be DNS server. Third one, what does that mean? After the class is over, I'll give you a recording. It's my theory class recording only. I don't care, I'm going to give it to you. Because that whole thing, I explained yesterday for like half an hour. It'll take around half an hour. I'll just drop the link in the chat. Just go and click on the link and keep it saved. Don't share it to others. It's my theory class recording. But I'll just give it for you all for fun. Enjoy. There's a part there where I talked about um, why do we convert URL into IP address and how it's done. Enjoy. Anyways, yes, Arthur. Anyways, Dash is used to easy navigation within website. Okay. Now, if you take navigation, navigation means move from one place to another place. Now, if I want to go from this home page to classes page, or home page to resources page, or my schedule page, for me to navigate through pages easily, I am clicking on something. Why I'm clicking on? What are these things I'm going to click on? There is a name we give for links. We don't directly call them as links. There's a special name for that. What type of links we call them as? Yes, we call them as hyperlinks. Okay, we call them as hyperlinks. So using hyperlinks only, you can navigate from one page to another page in a website easily. Is that clear, all of you? These are those. Like if I go and click on this text, nothing's happening. If I go and click on this text, nothing's happening because these are not hyperlinks. But if I go and click on this text, it's jumping pages because it's a hyperlink. First one is URLs. Yes, Aftab. Next, shows the web browser how to display the web. I did the same question I talked about yesterday as well. Anyways, what is the thing we use to show the web browser how to display the web page? This is used to define the structure of the web page. What is used to define the structure of the web page? What do we use to define the structure of the website? Exactly, it's the HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a type of computer language. Okay, it's a language we use to inform the browser or tell the browser how to display or how to show the web page. It's a language we use to communicate to the browser. HTML. So anyway, all the websites you take on the internet, it's definitely using HTML to communicate with the browser on how to show the web page. Got it? And finally, if the content of a website is maintained without any changes over a period of time, such a website is called what type of website? If you take Master website, okay, if you come for this, let's say grade 11, you can see there are two classes. Now it's saying December 17th starting at 4:45. On December 17th, if you come here at 4:50 p.m., this class won't be visible. It will be hidden. Okay, I mean it will get vanished. Okay, because you can purchase the class only before the class starts. After the class starts, you can't purchase it, right? It's based on time. You can see automatically it's modified. I don't go and change the code without changing the code itself based on the time. At 4:56, if you come and check this page, it won't be there on 17th. On 24th, if you come and check at 4:47, it will vanish. With time, the data gets modified, right? And if you have purchased a lesson, it will show here, right? If the class is going to start in like 15 minutes time, and the ongoing it will show, right? So the master web page, if you take with time, based on timings and all those stuffs, automatically the content is getting modified. So with the time, if the content is not getting modified, if it's not going to be modified, anytime you see the page, it's going to be the same. How do you call such website as? Asma's homepage. Correct. Such web page you call as a static website. Static means there's no change. The word static means it's fixed, no changes. Okay. So static websites, whenever you see the web page, it's going to have the same content. It's not getting modified. But dynamic website, it do get modified with time. Is that clear, all of you? In terms of marks, okay, put half, one, two, three, four. Wait, put one mark each and tell me how much I got here. Web authoring tool is a type of application which you use to create website. It's a type of application basically. A type of application we use to create static website. Anyways, out of 5 marks, how many marks I got here? Good, good, good. What's Coffee Cup? Coffee Cup is a type of application we use to write code. There's something called Visual Studio Code, Coffee Cup. Like you all use code.master.com. You all did the if you studied the HTML lesson under me, you all did the coding in this web page. So this is actually also a code editor. Visual Studio Code, Notepad, all of this you can consider as code editors. What's authoring tool? Can you put? Web authoring tools are type of application A type of application used to create used to create static websites without coding. Okay, you don't have coding in web authoring. You can code, but you don't code in web authoring tools. It's like you drag and drop and you can make a website. For example, if you take this website, this is made using a type of web authoring tool. There is no coding for this website. It's just drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop, and the whole website was made. Completely drag and drop. If you don't know how to make that website, just go to Google and search for Google Sites. You can create a website completely for free and even publish it. CMS means Content Management System. It's a type of application we use to manage the contents in a website. For example, if you take this Master IT website, currently how many classes can you see here in the classes page? 4 classes. When I refresh also, how many classes you can see? How many times I refresh? Still 4 classes. Now I have a CMS which I use to master IT. I'm going to, for privacy reason, I am going to cover part of it. In my CMS, if I go and let's say, so I can see, I can manage, these are the class I have. I'm going to go and click on edit here and change the status to active, update. Now if I come and refresh my website, how many classes I have now? Did I do any codings to change it? No. So if I again come here, edit, inactive, update. Now if I refresh the page, it's gone. Okay, so I can manage the contents of a web page using like applications. So if you look at the other application I showed you, it's a type of CMS which I made for my own purpose. So if you want, you can make your own CMS, or there are some CMS like WordPress, all those stuffs. You can use them as well. It's depending on your purpose. Like for example, I can even block. You all are logging, right? I can even from my CMS, I can go and block your account. So when you try login to Master ID website, it'll be like your account is being banned. Will we get a domain name for free by using Google Sites? Yes, yes. Not a domain name, you'll get a URL for free for your website. Like for example, this website house.mastermatch is there is no URL for this website. See, it goes like this, sites.google.com. You'll be getting a URL like this. This website also was made using Google Sites. See, it's a, you can get, you'll be getting Google's domain name. Under Google's domain name, you can have fun. Anyways, we're done for the day. If you have any questions, you can stay and ask. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. Web development is cool. Actually, web development is cool. Like if you know it for personal purpose, it's so fun. Make my life so much easy by creating applications for my own self. Like there are several apps I have made only for me to use to make my work easy. Can I use my laptop as a monitor? Yeah, there are applications for that. Example, any desk. Is it better to choose the SDLC question or ICT society one? SDLC. Always when there is a theoretical question, your answer has to be specific. So if you're a person who can by heart and write, ICT and society is better. If you're a person who understands, you have your like your logical knowledge is more powerful than by hearting knowledge, then you go for STLC. It depends on a person to person. If you take me, I'm a more practical person. More than by hearting stuffs, I want my brain to think. So I would use STLC. But then there are certain people I know, their by hearting level is less, their by hearting level is more, but their processing level is less. Like they're good at science but bad at maths. So if you're good at science and bad at maths, you should do ICT and society. If you're good at maths, bad at science, do SPLC. If you're good at both, then both the questions are easy for you. Because normally maths is a subject you use your head. Science is a subject you have to by heart. I mean, majority of the stuffs. Yeah, Sarah, like you just to take the grade 11, lesson number 6, two in the last few pages. You have questions. Anyways, anyone having any other questions, you'll have to clarify. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I haven't tried it. No idea. Okay, as there's no other questions, I'm going to end the meeting. Again, if you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me and get them clarified. What's the SATA cable? It's the SATA is actually this hard disk. The hard disk is what we call as SATA. So SATA cable means probably I think it's referring to the hard disk cable. I am not sure, but let me check. SATA is the hard disk. See, it's a hard disk cable. The cable normally we use to connect the hard disk to the laptop computers inside the computer. To open the hard disk in the motherboard and see use cases. When will you start programming? Mid of January? Any other questions, anyone? Mohammed Ishan. A very beautiful question. I can get the value. I have double check. That's why. The reason it's delaying is I have double check. Let's see. I'll get as soon as possible. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting. Have a nice day. Bye bye.